Aaron Rodgers' future was already in doubt before he signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers a few weeks ago. Many assumed he would join the Steelers for the 2025 season, though the delay in making it official had fans wondering about his commitment to playing another season outright. Rodgers' career is winding down, and he made that perfectly clear this week, revealing on the Pat McAfee show that his first year with the Pittsburgh Steelers will be the final of his career. That means the Steelers are on the clock to, at a minimum, start thinking about their future at the position. Pittsburgh faced a similar problem a year ago, deploying Russell Wilson and Justin Fields as temporary placeholders. It's a similar circumstance now for the team. Some feel that a projected stronger quarterback draft class could provide them the permanent answer they have sought after for years. However, one insider thinks that they could look into acquiring another veteran. ESPN's Brooke Pryor tabbed Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray as a player that could be on the Steelers' radar. Trading for a starting quarterback is rare these days and expensive, but not impossible. The Steelers could first look at former first-round picks who haven't played up to their expected potential. Arizona's Kyler Murray will have 2 years and a club option on his current contract after the 2025 season. His cap hits are significant, $53.2 million and $43.5 million, but they could be massaged and restructured. Murray enters his 7th year in the NFL, and at age 27, there is still an opportunity for him to progress under center. When he's on the field, Murray is one of the more dynamic players in the league. But there is also an argument for the Steelers running into the same issue going this route. Changing out starting quarterbacks is an unconventional strategy because most teams press the reset button at the position through the draft. Having changed out veterans multiple times already, a section of the fanbase would bemoan the use of that strategy for a third straight offseason. Murray does, however, have more upside than any other play caller to make it work. For now, the Steelers back Rodgers and will try to capitalize on his final season. But they will need to start thinking about what's next sooner rather than later. George Pickens's rocky tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't end on the worst of terms, but his latest scrutinized actions may have further soured the Steelers' fanbase's opinions of him. Pickens was traded to the Dallas Cowboys in May and has since revealed he forced his way out of Pittsburgh following his up-and-down 2024-25 campaign with the Steelers. The 24-year-old wideout now gets a fresh start in the NFC East, where he'll be catching balls from quarterback Dak Prescott, as well as trying to win Cowboys fans over. A recent account about Pickens's inconsiderate behavior won't help with the latter. The ex-Steelers star apparently bailed on his summer football camp at Highmark Stadium at the last minute, according to True Edge Sports, a company that specializes in youth sports camps. It's important to note that the company checked with Pickens after the Cowboys trade to see if he was still committed and would still show up to the event, scheduled for June 28th. Pickens said he would, but allegedly backed out last week. Unfortunately, as of last week, True Edge was notified by George's team that he has decided to walk back on his word and is no longer interested in attending the camp, the company wrote. Thankfully, Steelers tight end Pat Freiermuth volunteered his services and offered to help run the camp in Pickens's absence. A few other Steelers players may be joining as well. Nothing but class from the Steelers' young star. The Steelers will no doubt be happy to put the drama-filled days of the George Pickens era behind them and are now jumping into a boat with veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers for the upcoming season. What could possibly go wrong? As the New England Patriots overhaul their defense under new head coach Mike Vrabel this offseason, Pittsburgh Steelers edge rusher TJ Watt has emerged as a possible trade target. According to Patriots Wire's Jordy McElroy, New England is one of just a few teams capable of executing a major trade for the star edge rusher from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Watt, a four-time first-team All-Pro and 2021 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, set to have his contract expire after the 2025 season. McElroy notes the Steelers may be open to moving him if contract negotiations falter. TJ Watt is playing on an expiring deal and likely seeking a lucrative extension at 30 years old, McElroy said. Some would argue the Pittsburgh Steelers should consider moving on and rebooting their football team. What would fill a major need for the Patriots of having a legitimate top-tier pass rusher? That is something New England lacked in 2024 after the departure of Matthew Judon, when they finished last in the NFL in sacks. Two of the main issues at play here are that the Steelers' Super Bowl window is now, and a trade for what could come at a steep price. That potentially means multiple early-round picks. Though a TJ Watt deal remains hypothetical, circumstances could still be aligning. Watt's contract impasse, the Patriots' urgent need for pass rush talent, and their financial capability make this scenario a somewhat realistic one. However, Watt is a Steelers legend, and imaging him heading to the Patriots is somewhat hard to fathom. The Pittsburgh Steelers bringing the Aaron Rodgers show to the AFC North has provided one Baltimore Ravens edge rusher the chance to settle a score. A need for revenge that's been brewing inside Pro Bowler Kyle Van Noy for a decade. Last season's team sack leader appeared on NFL Network's The Insiders and told Mike Garafolo and Stacey Dales why he's relishing the chance to renew hostilities with Rodgers. It all stems from a game when Van Noy was still a member of the Detroit Lions and found himself on the receiving end of a masterclass performance and some choice words from then Green Bay Packers quarterback Rodgers. Van Noy explained, "When I was playing inside linebacker, for whatever reason the D coordinator, who's actually the D coordinator of the Steelers, wanted to go cover zero all game against Aaron Rodgers, and he caught us and we're like, well, we gotta run it." Ended up scoring a touchdown to Jordy Nelson. Rodgers ended up walking by and kinda tapped me on my butt like, nice try, so I gotta get him back for that. That's been there for 10 years. Almost 2 years after he had to bail because he was visiting the #Ravens, clearly a wise move by Baltimore. Kyle Van Noy joins the Insiders on NFL Network to talk his 21.5 sacks in 2 years, a 72-hour fast, mentoring young players, the chance to sack Aaron Rodgers, and more. While Van Noy was lighthearted, the Ravens will want their best pass rusher anything but when they first entertain Rodgers and the Steelers at M&T Bank Stadium in Week 14. The 4-time NFL MVP makes the Steelers the biggest threat to the Ravens' ownership of the AFC North Division. Especially since Van Noy is convinced 41-year-old Rodgers still has more left in the tank than many others believe. Ravens leader still believes in Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers may not be planning to be a Steeler for long, but Van Noy is in no doubt he's immediately made the Ravens' main rival better. That's despite Rodgers starting all 17 games but only finishing 5-9 with the New York Jets in 2024. Van Noy told Dales and Garafolo, "Rodgers is a couple of field goals away from having a winning record, and I still feel like he's slinging the ball around. He has the confidence of anybody." Yet, while Van Noy knows the challenge Rodgers poses, he did hint at a potential problem for the 10-time Pro Bowler in Pittsburgh. Specifically, the type of offense called by coordinator Arthur Smith, with Van Noy excited to see Aaron Rodgers under center to see if he likes it or not. Traditionally, Rodgers has preferred to play at a remove from the line of scrimmage, either in a pistol or shotgun alignment. Doing the same for the Steelers would force Van Noy to travel a step or two more to get his first sack of Rodgers, but the Ravens know they will need to be on point at both ends of their defense. Fortunately, the talent is there to corral Rodgers and a suspect supporting cast. Loaded Ravens defense can repel Steelers, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers still threw 28 touchdown passes for the Jets last season, but he's arguably surrounded by less talent in Pittsburgh. The wide receiver group lost highlight reel favorite George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, but overtly physical Pro Bowler DK Metcalf will be a factor. What's missing are credible third and second receivers. Tight end Pat Freiermuth is a natural chain mover, but he's not dynamic enough to scare the Ravens. Disrupting this group shouldn't be a problem for a loaded Ravens defensive front led by Van Noy and formidable defensive tackle Nnamdi Madubuike. They can expect help from this year's second-round draft pick Mike Green, college football's sack leader in 2024, as well as a potential breakout, big-bodied edge rusher. The Ravens won't repeat the Lions' mistake of taking on Rodgers without keeping a safety deep. Not when youthful All-Pro Kyle Hamilton is a force on the back end, but defensive coordinator Zach Orr must find the right third safety to replace injured Darius Washington. At least the cornerback rotation will be strong thanks to the addition of a 2-time Pro Bowler who's a former teammate of Rodgers. He can form a ball-hawking trio with All-Pro Marlon Humphrey and budding breakout star Nate Wiggins that will test the enduring arm strength and accuracy of a passer firmly in the winter of his career. Getting a sack or two of Rodgers before he hangs up the cleats would be another highlight in Van Noy's own prolific swan song with the Ravens.